it's Christine from the European Startup Association, and I'm here with Alberto, and he's calling in from Italy, like me today, but in different cities. And he's one of our startups. We're super excited to have him on board, and we want to give you a quick overview about who he is, what they're doing, and what is this all about. So Alberto, tell us a bit more about yourself and the company, and maybe even why you started this.
Well, why I started it is it's a long story, but I was living in Brazil, and I realized one night I was playing with, surfing the net, and at one point I stumbled into an article of I think a senatore in Italy that wanted to put plates to all the bikes. So I read the article, and then I started being interested in the argument. So I did some research. And basically, I found out that everybody has the same problem. And the problem is we have a lot of bikes in every country, but people are resilient to use it because they get stolen very easily, if very frequent as well. So I said to myself, well, we have something to work with because there is a need that is not yet fully covered. Actually, is not covered. So this is how I started thinking about the project. In fact, I had two startups in Brazil with two other stakeholders. But then I decided to go back to Italy and dedicate my time to this project. So I sold my share to the other two, and I came back especially for this.
Okay, so you are helping to prevent the bike to be stolen. So explain a bit more maybe on that, and how you can keep track of the bike and stuff like this. And what's the name of the company you haven't mentioned yet?
The company name is BikeB. So the company, what we have done basically, we have a digital registry, which is anybody. Okay, it's very easy. We also have an app and a web app. It's really easy. You can start the registration on the web app, and you can finish it on the app. Is the same. So the registry is obviously consultable, because everybody can see the bikes that are being stolen. We send push alerts to anybody that is part of the community, because obviously everybody that is enrolled in the register has a role, if you want. So they can scan the bikes that they suspect they were stolen, and then from there contact the owner, and so on. We have a customer service. We have agreement in Italy with 35 municipalities. Everything it's direct, and it should be, and it will be a strong opposition to theft, basically, and also to anybody that has bought from let's say not recommendable persons bikes that were stolen, obviously, and then we sold it as a, I don't know, this is use the bike, is not. So we want to basically try to, especially now that the electric bikes are ramping up sales. We have a lot of bikes that are not muscular but electric. So the average value is actually increasing by a lot.
Yes.
From the old bikes, right? So it's really something that people care about, and it's obviously one of the solution to the environmental problems that we have.
Yes.
Probably the fastest as well, because if everybody will use the bike daily to do things that you can do with bike, probably we can make a huge difference.
Yes, that is true, because like you say, a lot of times people are using the car also because one of the reasons, like you said, is they are afraid that the bike is stolen. So some people have a bike, and especially the ones who have the bike that is very expensive, not just the electric ones. There's also non-electric ones that are expensive. They are even more afraid. They use it maybe on the weekend to go proper biking, but for the daily use, they don't really want to use it, maybe because they don't want to leave it outside the supermarket. So you're right, this can have a huge environmentally impact as well if people have a shift of mind and use it on a daily basis because they know the bike is more secure. Yes.
Exactly.
Very nice, very nice. And nice the story that you said, okay, you had this idea in Brazil, but you came back to Italy to realize it here. And I do not know the numbers compared Brazil to Italy, or Italy compared to the rest of Europe. I think there's a lot of theft of bikes everywhere. But maybe, I don't know, you can tell me if Italy is specifically high, the rates of bikes getting stolen.
Well, Italy, it's the major producers of bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have traditionally a very bike-oriented mentality. A lot of people, for example, we have in Italy, I think it's like 65 or 63 million people, and we have 27 million bikes of owned bikes. Yeah. Okay. So it's a big market. Brazil, obviously, it's much bigger, but the large part of the Brazilians are poor, so they don't really have, the chance buying nice bikes for them and so on. And also, it's very complicated because Brazil is very corrupt as well. So
yes.
So I decided to come back to Italy to start from the place where basically all the big companies have, huge offices. So even the huge brands like American brands and so on, they all have.
Yes.
So it was obviously is my country as well. So it was easier for me at the beginning to start from Italy. Obviously, we want to export the model outside Italy as soon as possible, because Italy, it's always tougher to actually grow the numbers, to ramp up the business. So just we want to go into like Germany, Spain, France, UK, where you can actually, the spending normally it's higher than in Italy. They spend more money for anything because they make more money, right? And I think it's and we have a lot of bikes, but we don't have the right approach to the biking, let's say, community, or usage of every day of the bikes.
And what kind of specific challenges? I mean, this is one of the challenges that you just said with growing actually the business in Italy, but any specific challenges, even technicalities, maybe getting municipalities on board? I know how difficult it can be to get a project like this off the ground in Italy, because I tried myself with something else. There is sometimes so much bureaucracy involved that a lot of people give up, but that also maybe has to do with you knowing that better than me, because I'm German and I get more frustrated. But is there any specific challenge, or the one challenge that you can pick out that was really difficult, but you solved it?
Well, it was difficult at the beginning because I was talking with the municipalities, and obviously they didn't know how to do it, even though they wanted to do it, but they don't know how to do it. So at the end of the day, we couldn't really find a pathway to get it done. So I decided that I basically took a lawyer that deals with this kind of matters, and we structure a document for them, so pre-cooked kind of thing. That could be effective and usable in, let's say, more than 50% of the situations. So with that, we kind of, because obviously if they have to do the document and decide what kind of procedure or
Yes.
law pay to, it will take, I don't know, 10
Yeah.
years.
Minimum, yes.
Instead, in this way, we find a very good solution.
Mm.
And it was approved fast as soon as they, see the document and so on. So in many places we had approval in, I don't know, maybe 2 months, 1 month and a half. Like Rimini, I think 1 month and a half was done. So that was the turning point, because we were basically bouncing against the wall every time. Yes, we want to do it, but so this was the game changer.
Yeah, I think this is a very good advice as well for everyone who deals with, let's say, the public sector and has to get public institutions on board, to have something prepared, to be prepared, that is showing that you're aware of the legal situation. Okay, this is how it's done legally, this is how it's done technically, and this is how it's done in the process. And here's a template that you can use if you want. And then it's easier, because a lot of times people don't want to put the work in, or they don't know how to put the work in, or where to start. So I think that's a super good advice. Yes. And as a startup, what kind of characteristics do you think a startup should have in the startup world? It, I guess, depends on which field you're in, which industry you're in, but maybe if you can think of the one thing that every startup needs to have, what is that?
I think it's the one thing that everybody has to have is a need that is not completely fulfilled. So it's something that people will probably use, most likely use, but is not there yet, or it's kind of, but is not done in a proper way.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So really solving a need, or fulfilling a need that someone has, solving a real problem where there's no perfect solution yet. Yes, I think super good. Very nice summary. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the time. It's always interesting to talk to new startups, to meeting new people, get inspired, understanding how they overcame the challenges in the public sector as well, working with public institutions, municipalities. I might take this to heart even for my project, because I will probably pick that up soon again and see how that goes. So thank you so much for your time, and we are looking forward to supporting you in your startup journey further.